Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wrestling fans. This is John Hoppy. You're listening to Wrestling Fans Insight. I'm here with my co host and brother, William. Say hi to the crowd.
Hello.
William's kind of still not 100%, but we're going to try to carry on and get through this day. But we want to give our AEW Dynasty predictions today just before the event goes on. It is going to be happening here very shortly at the 6:30 p.m. Eastern, starting with the 0 hour, with the normal 0 hour panel. But so far, only two matches are looking like they're going to be taking place at 0 hour. I'm sure either another match or one more, as well as one more, might get added. I mean, Tony Khan never seems to let the 0 hour go without any kind of action going that long. So
Throw a women's match in there.
it could happen. I mean, we still got Thunder Rosa and Chris Statland after last night's promo on Collision. So
Yeah, you kind of called that one.
yeah. So, but William, you looking forward to tonight's pay-per-view event?
As much of it as I can catch. I got a busy schedule, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty good card.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it would be really bad, especially with this lineup, especially with a newcomer coming into the AEW mix here with Kevin Knight.
Yeah, I really wish they would have done more to promote this.
Well, it was kind of a little shorthanded with Jay White's injury.
No, I mean the whole card.
Oh,
That's
that's why I hate monthly pay-per-views.
yeah.
You don't really get a whole lot of time to spend to promote it. So, but I mean, Dynasty has been pretty much usually right after Revolution. So it is what it is. But let's get right into it because we don't have a whole lot of time for the 0 hour match. Let's go ahead and start off with the trios match between Nick Wayne and CRU. For those who don't know, that is Action Andretti and Leo Rush taking on the team of AR Fox and Top Flight. I'll start off. I think right now with Nick Wayne coming into the play.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one.
Yeah, and making the big moves he is with the conflicts with Christian Cage. I can't see any reason why you wouldn't book Nick Wayne and CRU over AR Fox and Top Flight right now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the same exact thing. Like Nick Wayne is the future. I just wish they'd drop those stupid coats.
You don't like the Bowser look?
No,
there? No.
No.
Too retro.
They're too small for that.
But yeah, with the way AEW is pushing Nick Wayne and with the looks of him going probably separate ways from Christian Cage, what better way to make him look strong than to start doing things on his own or his way? So
He's definitely got what it takes to push it.
You're right. So it's easy to mark you down for W for the Nick Wayne and CRU.
For sure.
And for those of you tuning in, you can catch us live on our YouTube, also on Twitch at the Fans of Pro Wrestling, as well as my X account at WFI Pod. Why don't we go ahead in the next one? This is kind of a guesser here. We got the Max Caster Open Challenge. And after seeing the promos these last couple weeks, I can't imagine it would be anyone else. I mean, this morning in the group chat, before I actually caught up on the programming, it wasn't making any sense because I first thought, well, maybe they'll throw someone goofy in like Danhausen. But then after listening to the promos, I'm pretty sure this has got to be Anthony Bowens coming into play. Your thoughts?
I think you're dead on with that. The whole thing with Max Caster, like I it's hard to call it. Like Max Caster is due for a win, but at the same time, with this rivalry with Caster and Bowens, it doesn't make any sense to have Bowens lose. So I'm going Bowens.
All right. Stampede, hey buddy, thanks for joining in. Nick Wayne and the CRU for the win. Best of luck. Best of the Super Juniors to Nick Wayne.
So hi, Stampede.
And I'm sure we'll get his prediction here shortly on the next one. But why don't we go ahead and move on to the starting to the main event again, like I said, I imagine there's got to be 2 more matches coming to the 0 hour. There'll be surprises. Unfortunately, we didn't get them in time before we started this broadcast, but
there we go.
yep, Owen Hart. Oh, yeah, Owen Hart Foundation's men quarterfinal. Kyle Fletcher taking on Mark Briscoe.
Fletcher.
You didn't want to think about that answer?
Didn't need to.
Okay. I'm going with Kyle Fletcher as well. I mean, they're booking him strong. He's on his own, being in the Don Callis family. I think it's a matter of time before we start seeing some singles gold on this guy very shortly.
He's a hot talent. It doesn't make any sense to waste it.
Right. And especially having a win over Ospreay and, getting things going with the Don Callis family. Yeah, there's no reason why I can't see him. Stampede agrees with us. Fletcher for the win. Make sure I mark Stampede for these two.
For sure.
That way, if we have to go back and go after Carlos, we can just rub it in even harder. So we'll go on to the next match for the Owen Hart's.
Leave the C to the LOS alone, man.
No way. The next match I have the Owen Hart Foundation's men's quarterfinal. Kevin Knight, who is filling in for Jay White's spot, taking on Will Ospreay. I know there's a lot of people that are actually kind of 50-50 on this one.
This is going to be a killer match. Kevin Knight is for sure an up-and-coming talent, but I'm going to have to stick with Ospreay on this one.
All right. I'm going with Will Ospreay just because, the target's set that he wants to go make a run for Jon Moxley's AEW World Championship, assuming Jon Moxley does retain. However, it would be interesting if something else happens later tonight. We'll get to that match when we get to that point. So you going to be okay? All right. So Stampede is going to make one here. Kevin Knight for the upset. So
nice.
Here's one that's going to be, like I said, it's going to muddy the waters here. Like it wouldn't be a bad idea to have Kevin Knight win.
I wouldn't be upset if Kevin Knight took it.
No, I wouldn't be upset whoever wins this match. It's going to be a great one. Third match for the Owen Hart women's quarterfinal. We got Mercedes Moné, who just experienced a first loss, but in a tag team match. She didn't take the pin, just so everybody's aware. Taking on Julia Hart. Julia Hart had a strong showing last night in the tag team match, getting the submission on Harley Cameron. But I think right now, with the way the brackets are set up, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing more the lines of having Athena take on Mercedes Moné in the semifinals.
Yep.
Your thoughts?
Yep. That's exactly where I'm going with it too. Julia Hart is going to be coming up, obviously, but I think it's going to wait till after Dynasty.
Yeah, looks like Stampede for the sweep here. Mercedes Moné for the win. I'm sure he's going to be kind of right there on the same thoughts as us. Let's go ahead and move on to the Ring of Honor World Championship for mask match. For those who haven't been paying attention, Jericho poking the bear with Bandito, but finally he wants something from Bandito if it's really going to come down to it. Chris Jericho's Ring of Honor World Championship up for Bandito's mask. You just can't see any luchador giving up their mask right now. I mean, not like the good old days in WCW. And I think with the momentum Bandito's have been having since he's returned, I think we're going to see a new Ring of Honor World Champion here.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that one. And don't forget to mention the fact of the inner turmoil between the learning tree. Like right now, you got the tag team trying to come up of, Big Bill and Keith.
Yeah, we'll actually Stampede, Christopher, by God, Jericho losers.
I just barely read that. Nice, Stampede.
I think it would be kind of fun to just pick Jericho because of a certain person we have in our community group chat.
Yeah,
just to watch Jericho win. But
I've kind of paid a little bit of attention to that.
But anyhow, yeah, I can't really see them having Bandito lose his mask just for this little match here.
No, and kudos to Jericho. He's still doing what he does. He's still putting it out there for all the younger talent.
And as you mentioned earlier, Will, the learning tree having some conflict. Let's get into the AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Hurt Syndicate taking on defending the championships against Big Bill and Brian Keith. I don't think this is good for the learning tree.
No, it's Hurt Syndicate all the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just now. Let's kind of throw out some possible predictions. Do you think if that happens, Jericho comes out and berates Big Bill and Brian Keith, or do you think it's a backstage segment?
I don't think he's going to come out and do it. I think it'll be a backstage segment where they eventually end up splitting, and I'm hoping it leads to a different direction.
And do you think that would happen tonight, or maybe possibly on Dynamite or Collision?
I would say probably Dynamite.
It would make more sense.
It would give time for people to kind of get in their own heads about it, and really just kind of it piques the interest.
All right, Stampede. Too much of a lucha presentation in Ring of Honor and the relationship with CMLL. Bandito makes sense.
We agree with you, buddy.
Yes, it does. And he also agrees with us on the Hurt Syndicate. Hurt Syndicate does retain. Just they're too hot right now.
Yeah.
No sense to take the championships off of them. There's just
they're still building.
Right. And it's really going to be interesting kind of see how things work out with the Hurt Syndicate and MJF here in the near future. So this is kind of weird not seeing the pay-per-view with MJF in it this year. So yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of interesting things come up and develop after this pay-per-view tonight. But let's move on to the AEW Trios Championship. Death Rider Chucky's Death Riders defending against Rated FTR. I think there's definitely going to be some interesting things going on this match. I'm going to spoil it for myself. I think FTR gets on the same page finally tonight and possibly causes Cope to take the pin, and the Death Riders will end up retaining the championships. Your thoughts?
I've been spending this entire week thinking the same exact thing, which is weird because it would just make sense. Like, who's causing the problems? Really, you guys were brothers for how many years, and then all of a sudden you're not getting along. Well, what was the factor that came into it? Well, obviously that was Edge. So that's right. I called him Edge.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not going Cope.
I still keep calling Brian Danielson Daniel Bryan, and and
I have a hard time with calling him Cope. It just reminds me of the chewing tobacco, and no.
Stampede saying a revival awaits the Syndicate soon. The Death Riders retain. Rated FTR implodes. I think we're all pretty much on that same page there, Stampede.
Yep.
And sometimes I kind of think it's scary how much Stampede and I kind of think alike.
No, actually, it makes a lot of sense because you two are very much alike.
There are some differences we see, but
some.
But I kind of lost my spot. Sorry, folks. Oh, here we go.
There's a shocker.
Yeah, kiss my ass. That's what happens when I'm out for a couple of weeks. But AEW TNT Championship with no time limit and no interference. Champion Daniel Garcia defends against Adam Cole, baby.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going Cole. It's time.
Did you want to elaborate or anything? Or
just the way that they've been playing it, Cole has always been playing bridesmaid ever since he walked into AEW, and it's just time.
Bridesmaid. That's kind of an interesting.
No, it's a NASCAR term.
Oh, okay.
Always coming in second. It's called bridesmaid.
Oh, okay. I don't watch much NASCAR, so
well, I stopped watching it after it went all stupid.
All right. Anyways, I'm right there with you. I think it's time to kind of put a fresh face with the championship and hopefully see some different matches going on here shortly for the TNT championship.
And don't get us wrong, Garcia's been good with the belt, but I don't think that that's the belt that really fits him.
Well, and I don't. He's done a great job defending it.
Yeah.
I just think a lot of people are feeling a little lost with it right now, and so kind of time to freshen it up a little bit. Stampede right there with us. Adam Cole, bay, time, bay.
You almost got that right.
Almost. And Garcia forgetting the title last night shows he's not focused. That'll cost him tonight. Totally agree.
Yep.
But here's my question. Do we see how true it stays to no interference?
I don't think AEW knows how to stay out of putting the interference factor in.
So you think we might see a little bit of interference?
A little bit of interference, but I think they're going to go with a clean win.
Okay. So, while we move on to the AEW Women's World Championship, this one, I think, I'm watching a lot of the IWC's predictions has been really 50-50. Many are for Bane taking this championship. Many are saying it's too early for Bane to win and Tony's going to retain.
I've seen what they're doing with Bane, and I'm on Bane. It only took them a couple of weeks, and she's already part of the opening credits on Collision.
Well, and here's the thing. If you're going to put a lot of that promo and the way you're building up Bane on TV,
make her powerful.
Yeah. I mean, don't screw it up right now.
Don't blow it.
My apologies, folks. I'm got a bit of a dry cough going this week.
Where's your water?
I don't have it with me today. I've got my Coke, but that's not much better. But yeah, I just don't think the way you've been building up Bane on TV, you making her look this strong and this dominant.
It would be a shame.
I think your wise move is put that championship on Bane. However, I don't know if I would be sad if Tony retains.
No.
But I'm kind of at a.
But also at the same time, Tony Storm doesn't have to do anything else.
Right.
She really doesn't. She's 4-time champ. She doesn't need to win again.
And I kind of go back on the no interference. Stampede says they'll stay true to that, same as they do in the C1. My heart tells me Megan Bane. My head says 51-50 Megan. Great album also. Nate Dogg, yo, thank you for joining us, Nate Dogg. Appreciate you coming in. And again, if you got any predictions to throw out before we go off the air, folks, feel free to get them in. If you're watching us through YouTube or the X app, the next one, the AEW International Championship, which is a 3-way match between the champion Kenny Omega defending against Speedball Mike Bailey and Ricochet. Why are you laughing?
This has been so fun to watch. I'm sorry, but Speedball is he's so entertaining.
He's really fun to watch.
He really is. I knew nothing about him until he actually made his debut in AEW. I heard you guys talk about him. I finally got to see him. And I was like, wow.
Well, and I've been before he signed his AEW contract. We had him on the Chris Jericho cruise the year before.
Oh man,
that was awesome to watch him actually in person.
But, yeah. Go ahead, keep rubbing that in.
Well, no, it's not a rubbing. It's just it's much different feeling to watch him in person than on TV. But before I've only catched him in bits and pieces with TNA, GCW. That's the only times I've really been able to catch Mike Bailey, even though, if I had more time, I would go back in YouTube and watch a lot more of his stuff. But to really put it, I think with the way Omega's making his comeback, we've talked about this in previous episodes. I think and the way it was sounding in our group chat, I think a lot of people are thinking their direction is they're going to eventually merge the international and the continental championship together at some point. So if that does happen, it would make sense for Kenny Omega to retain the championship. I think it's too early for him to lose it because that international championship has held a very good prestige for the champions who've held it. So I think Kenny Omega keeps this and will continue his path toward that Continental Championship. What say you?
What say I? I'm absolutely against continuing the merging of championships. I think this crap needs to stop. But Kenny Omega, for sure.
And we'll get into that maybe in a future episode here.
Yeah.
But with the short amount of time before we come up. Let's see. Actually, sorry. We got quite a bit going on here.
Yes, we do.
Stampede along with us. I wasn't expecting that many comments.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Stampede, Omega retains. Agree there. Nate Dogg, I feel like Mercedes Moné will win no matter how it ends. That's just me. I think pretty much everyone's feeling that same way, Nate.
Even if we don't agree with it.
Right. I think Mercedes is definitely going to get that match. Stampede, love Speedball Mike Bailey in the best of the Super Juniors in New Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, we already read that one.
Yes, you did.
And Ricochet and Bailey splinter off into a feud.
Yep.
Yes, that would be one hell of a feud right there.
Oh, that's happening. He's dead right about it.
Yeah, and actually, Stampede, Mercedes doesn't win the tourney, though.
No,
I agree with that.
No, there's no point to.
No, in fact, I wouldn't doubt if it ends up being Athena and Mercedes in the semifinals. I think Athena might squeak it out if it comes to that, though.
It would lead to some interesting things.
Yes. Eventually, I think we're going to see them battle each other in a maybe a possible title for title or.
Yeah, I just hope they don't drop the push on Billy Starks.
No, I hope not, but she's still young.
Yeah.
I think she's only 19 or 20 and still going forward. So
she's doing a killer job.
She is. And for the main event tonight, we have the AEW World Championship champion Jon Moxley defending his briefcase against Swerve Strickland. And this one's been 50-50 as well through the internet.
I'm just going to go out there and just throw it out. I'm saying that Moxley takes it.
All right. Let's go to the comments, and I'll give mine after the comment. Stampede has this here.
Yes, he does.
If Tony wins, Hater is the favorite. If Bane wins, Statlander is the favorite. All right.
I can't argue that.
Well, it's hard to argue much with Stampede. So
yeah. Up in the Great White North.
Well, everything's bigger, even the Sasquatches. but anyways, for me, I don't know, with the things between Swerve and Hangman still vows to make sure that Swerve does not win that AEW championship. But after the way things were on Dynamite, that was kind of a different look there when Swerve admitted that he knows he deserved his house to be burned down. I mean, did you watch that promo at all?
No.
Oh, you got to go back and watch that moment. I think that was kind of a way to muddy the waters between them. Stampede, I've changed back to Swerve. This has been presented where it's literally 50-50. And I agree. I mean, this one I definitely think is pretty much unpredictable who's going to win. I think the way it's going to be told later tonight, I think we might be in for a shocker. I wouldn't doubt if we see a return tonight after the match, to be honest.
I'm not going to be upset if Swerve takes it, but
no,
I'm still sticking with Mox on it.
I'm going to go with Jon Moxley just because I think they have somebody else in mind to dethrone him.
That's exactly where I'm at with it too.
And who, I don't know. That's the problem.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big shebang. Like we still haven't seen Darby Allin come back, and there's been a lot of talk about Allin.
Yes, there has, especially with his recent deal. I think he's still, if he's not done yet, I think he's still looking to climb Mount Everest.
Oh yeah,
Or if he's back already, I don't know, because I haven't really been following that part yet.
it's kind of a long trip.
It is. But I don't know. I have this really weird gut feeling we're going to see a surprise return, and I don't know who it is. And Stampede is saying Darby is on a very large
Okay,
mountain
so
at
he
the
is
moment.
actually
he is
there.
on the mountain.
Cool.
So
At least he's living his dream.
yeah, I mean, he's doing something that he's always wanted to do, and that's pretty cool that, you know, Tony Khan lets these guys do their favorite things outside the
He
wrestling.
better have a big coat though, because he's a little skinny.
I don't know. All the crazy shit he does, he may not need the coat, but
You can't fight the cold.
no, not at all. But anywho, well, I know we really actually kept this episode very short. We will do our predictions in less than 30 minutes.
Yep.
Do you want to give any final thoughts going into tonight's pay-per-view event?
The only final thought I really have to give is more, not so much a thought, but a suggestion, is to just, whether you get what you expect or not, just sit back and enjoy, because they're going to put on a show. They always do.
Yeah, I mean, AEW does deliver as far as the amount of matches they put on the pay-per-view. I mean, I know I've made complaints in the past that they can go so long, but again, you know, for those who enjoy professional wrestling, you know, this is up your alley. I mean, if you like having more matches than the drama, this is the thing to watch tonight, especially if you enjoy watching pro wrestling as much as we do.
Yeah, just be aware that if you actually go to one of the events, though, you're in for a long sit.
Yes, you are. So before we go any further, let's go ahead and give our favorite shout outs. Be sure to go join Carlos C to the LOS 77 and Stampede on the X app. They actually have X spaces usually every Monday and Wednesday nights. Mondays shortly after Raw airs, and on Wednesdays shortly after AEW Dynamite goes off the air. And also, we have an X community for the fans of pro wrestling. Check it out under the Fans of Pro Wrestling Network's X account at FOPW Network. And we also have a group chat on the X app for the I gotta fix that. It's actually for the fans of pro wrestling. Just get with me, Carlos, Brian, who's the Brian Adkins on X, as well as Stampede on how to join. And I actually messed up Stampede's handle there. If it's actually at Stampede_ISM, Stampede is on. So sorry about that, Stampede. I gotta get that fixed. Also follow me on the X app at WFI Pod or the Fans of Pro Wrestling Network, FOPW Network. William
at William Hoppy 8.
And be sure to give William some time if you do try to
interact
with him.
You're gonna have to give it like a month or two.
And also our webpage, thefansofprowrestling.com, our YouTube channel at Wrestling Fans Insight, and on Twitch, the Fans of Pro Wrestling. And also our brother Brian, again, he's the Brian Adkins, and his YouTube channel at Tap Out Talk. And we got a couple of comments before we go. Yeah, Stampede, sorry. The AEW pay-per-view are 4 hours, usually between 65-70% will feature wrestling. Yes, it will. Mm-hmm. Please definitely go check it out tonight. If you've never checked out a AEW pay-per-view, I guarantee you will not be disappointed at Stampede.
Just a little reminder.
Yep. _ism. So I promise I will get that fixed, hopefully for the next broadcast when I'm trying to do my last minute updates. But yeah, throw out some other shout outs there to our fellow podcast friends. Jim over at Fan in the Van, the Two Dudes Sports News, the Steel and Teal Pod, 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, Nate's Daily Wager, Aaron over at Brutally Honest Sports. Wow, I didn't stutter that one this time. That's scary.
You'll stutter the next one.
Oh,
That's
I'm sure I
okay.
will. Visit Vegas Places with Coil.
Oh, you got it.
I know, it's scary. I don't go this long without stuttering something or fucking something up.
It's okay.
Also, a few shout out to our buddies, the DWE community over there. They've getting into more and more wrestling, not just WWE, but also AEW. They're starting to get a little more expanded on their wrestling base, and they're really fun group to talk to. They keep it very respectful and none of the tribalistic BS that you normally see on the IWC. Also want to give a shout out to our buddy Ted the Hillbilly Hill. He's got his Ted's Takes on wrestling there on the YouTube channel, as well as Austin Boyer's Wrestling World. And I almost lost my place. I also want to give a shout out to the Saged Up Network. We have been a part of their network for a little over 2 years now. Really good, strong community for all types of sports, as well as we are Sport Coin certified. If you're into the Sport Coin or the crypto type currency, be sure to go check out the Sport Coin Network at SportCoin1 on the X app. Be sure to check out his webpage as well. He's got a lot of interesting things going on. And if you are a sports content creator, please definitely go check him out and see how you can become affiliated with the Sport Coin Network. Also, we are presented by the fans of ProWrestling.com. Be sure, again, go check out our site there, the fans of ProWrestling.com. And I think that's going to do it for this week. Again, AEW Dynasty 0 Hour starts at the 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to go get it on the YouTube. And if you like what you see, you can see it right there at the bottom left corner. You can watch it 4 different ways: payperview.com, Triller TV, Amazon Prime Video pay-per-view, or the YouTube pay-per-view. YouTube TV pay-per-view. Will, long-winded there. With any final thoughts before we go?
I really, really want to thank Stampede for joining us on this one. It's always good to hear from you. You're pretty vocal. Thank you to the fans. Final thoughts. This should just be an enjoyable night.
And again, thank you to Stampede and Nate Dogg for joining us and interacting. Everyone, we will catch you later. Peace out and have a great night of wrestling.